back to the lie, because we must see where the crack is before we seal it. Two powers slides in so quietly that by the time we can spell our names, we have already been taught to split life into opposites, good and evil, health and disease, supply and lack, safety and danger. It is in the nursery rhymes that reward the good child and frighten the naughty one. It is in the schoolroom charts that measure winners and losers. It is in the news feed that turns human drama into a scoreboard. You see, and once the mind accepts a divided universe, every appearance becomes a referendum, a vote to be cast for or against, and reaction becomes our religion. What is the cost? Fear. Fear lives only where we grant reality to a second power. Fear is the smoke of a false fire. It chokes, but there is no flame in God's sky. Scripture has never hidden this. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Be still and know that I am God. Resist not evil. Take no thought for your life. Each word is a hammer on the same anvil. One presence is, and all else is the hypnotism of divided seeing. So long as we acknowledge a rival, we defend ourselves. And the instant we defend, we have confessed belief in what is not. Now, you will say, but the pain is real, the bill is due, the insult stings. I know. I am not asking you to call a wolf a lamb, nor to gild a thorn and name it a rose. I am saying, do not enter the quarrel of appearances. Do not fight the picture. Do not try to force the sea to be calm. When the Master approached the waves, he did not wrestle their law. He revealed a higher law by non-reaction, and the sea recognized itself. Be not afraid. It is I. The appearance demanded panic. Presence whispered identity. Our practice begins here. Never desire to change an appearance. Withdraw your belief from it. Sit and say within yourself, I consent to. 1. I neither fear, love, nor hate the picture. Watch what remains when your fear is dismissed from the room. You will discover that appearances tempt us to react, and reaction feeds them, but starved of belief, they fade like fog at sunrise. This is the path we will walk together, from the myth of two powers to the actuality of one presence, step by step, by refusing reaction, and by resting in silent contact where words have no work. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting, fasting from fear and from the whole habit of divided seeing. So let us make it practical, because otherwise this remains a pretty idea. Your litmus test is simple. Your reaction is your measure. If the body tightens, if the breath jerks, if the tongue races to defend or to accuse, that instant you have bowed to a second power. Panic is a prayer to another God. Composure is consent to one presence. You can quote 1,000 truths and yet betray yourself on the first breath. Faith is not what we say in the meeting. Faith is what we do when the bell rings and the picture shouts. Do you see that? Here are your daily altars, and they are ordinary. The headline says, markets tumble, and your stomach drops. That is the test. The clinic calls with a diagnosis, and the mind begins to write a future in dark ink. That is the test. A bank alert pings insufficient funds, and the heart hammers defense strategies. That is the test. A friend's text cuts, an employer posts a notice, a child slams a door. Watch the first breath, the first impulse, the first inner flinch. Let not your heart be troubled, said the Master, and the heart replies, all right then, I will be still on the first breath. Now the stance. Don't react. Don't desire to fix. Don't lunge to make right, to persuade, to punish, to rescue. Sit and let the wave pass without granting it authority. Resist not evil was not a counsel to let evil win. It was instruction to withdraw belief from the picture that claims a law apart from God. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. If you must do a thing, do it after the wave passes, never during the splash. Action taken in reaction binds you to the appearance. Action taken after silence bears only the seal of principle. We are on the middle path when we neither fear, love, nor hate any appearance. Don't fear the symptom. Don't love the praise. Don't hate the offender. All three are the same bait. Presence, not performance, measures maturity. Be still and know that I am God. Not be skilled, not be clever, not be quick. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. You see? And if you wobble, and you will be gentle. Notice, pause, return. Each non-reaction is a rewiring of belief, a thread pulled from the old tapestry of two powers. Breathe, consent, release the picture from your judgment, and let the inner silence wash it of borrowed authority. Faith grows as that first breath grows quiet, and the next, until fear has no room to land. Then the lie collapses of itself, and life reorders without your fists under a law you did not make and do not manage. Now we take the next step, and it will offend the habit of the mind that wants a winner and a loser. Don't take sides. Don't take the side of capital against labor or labor against capital. Don't take the side of spouse against spouse. Don't take the side of the body against the germ. The moment you choose a party, you leave principle. And when you leave principle, you lose power, because power is in principle, not in numbers, not in sympathy, not even in the justice you think you see. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is not choosing a nicer-looking devil. It is refusing the entire game of opposites and consenting to one presence to govern the form. Identity must shift first, or you cannot do this. Christ is the only identity present, not a good boss and a bad union, not an innocent wife and a cruel husband, not a heroic immune system and a villainous microbe. Christ is the identity. The rest is picture thinking. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. And so if you are entering the ring with flesh and blood, you are already 2 steps off the path. Don't fight for a person, not even the one who hired you. If the one who engaged you wants to win, that is his business. Your only interest is that spiritual activity be released, and when it is, it will draw to itself the form of harmony, whether reconciliation or clean separation that reveals good. The battle is the Lord's. Do you see? Method follows identity. Ignore the personalities, withdraw from their stories, their proofs, their injuries, their contracts, their case files. Never enter the case humanly. Sit back of it in silence until there is that inner click, that recognition, I in the midst of thee am mighty. Then say nothing to the parties unless you are specifically led. Don't give human advice. Don't strategize terms. Put up thy sword into the sheath, because every thrust of human will cuts both ways. Wait, contact, not concept, does the work. When presence is felt, it surfaces its own form, an adjustment signed in wisdom's ink. I have watched boardrooms dissolve, stalemate, when no one got the trophy, and yet everyone got relief, overtime, paid in a new way, schedules opening for fathers and mothers, shareholders, content, and not a press release about winners. I have sat with a husband and wife, speaking to neither, and seeing 2 outcomes on different days. One, a soft thaw and laughter in the kitchen by evening. Another, a quiet, dignified parting with no bitterness and provision enough for both a separation very spiritual, let's have it. I have seen a body settle when no one hated a germ and no one worshipped a remedy, only a silent consent to one life and the system reorganized without a fight. So your guardrail is this. and you must hear it. Never enter the case humanly. Don't become an advocate in the arena of personalities. Don't even become your own advocate. Stand in the middle without fear, love, or hate of any appearance, and bear witness. Power is in principle. Step out of the fight and let one presence write the terms. Now, here is the shock, and let it do its work. Don't turn to God to fix anything. The impulse to fetch God as a stronger arm to beat a weaker foe is the old lie in church clothes. If there too your problem here and God there, your fear here and God's rescue there, you have already confessed a universe of divided forces, and then you pray for the bigger fist. God is not power. Don't gasp, hear it. God isn't mind. God isn't even soul. Nobody knows what God is. God is the is. Presence that is indivisible, without opposite, without rival, without degree. I am that I am. Not I will become what you need to conquer what you fear. Do you see? When the disciples trembled at the churning sea, the word was not, I will overpower the wind for you. The word was, be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. Not a promise of intervention, a revelation of presence. It is I, only I is here. The storm did not require a stronger storm of God. It required recognition that no second presence could stand before I am. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still, not tug, not plead, not engineer a miracle by many words. Your Father knoweth what things ye have need of before ye ask. Why? Because need appears only where a second power is believed. Withdraw belief, and the shadow finds nothing to cling to. So cease petition, stop bargaining, stop using truth as a lever, stop dressing fear as prayer. Consent to isness. Sit and say within, Father, thou art. Then let even that dissolve until only a hush remains, a soft awareness without edge or direction. If words must come, let them be gentle and few. I in the midst of me is mighty, and then silence. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting, fasting from concepts of God as force, prayer as the unclenching into one. Practically, when the notice arrives or the symptom flares, do not ask God to remove it, to punish it, to fix it. Be still. Refuse the second power. Acknowledge one presence and do not try to use it. The need will thin where the belief once thickened it, like ice melting in the first kiss of spring. Take no thought, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and what you thought you had to chase gathers itself in order without your whip. Yes, the ego loses a weapon here, and it will pout because there is nothing left to wield. Better that it lays down its sword and finds a pillow. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Nothing to swing, only presence to witness. We do not use God as power. We awaken to one presence, and in that awakening, fear has no theater, the lie of two powers, no stage on which to strut. Be not afraid, it is I. Now, we must unmask the mechanism, because if you still think this is about your private virtue or your private guilt, you will keep wrestling shadows. Most of what troubles you does not begin in you. It floats like weather over the race mind, and it seeks a name, a face, a body on which to hang its coat. Name it impersonal. This is not your sin or your failure. This is universal belief claiming personhood. And the instant you consent to the mask, you tighten the noose. Who did sin? This man or his parents? They asked about the blind man. Neither, the master said, but that the works of God should be made manifest. Do you see? Not a personal indictment, an opportunity to witness. Presence. Universal belief pretends law, but it has none. Contagion says, I have a statute in the body's court. Drafts say, I am the cause of colds. Economic tides whisper, I am your bank account's fate. These are slogans, not statutes. There is one lawgiver, and what is illegitimate before one law has no jurisdiction. Do not argue with a billboard. Recognize it as a billboard and walk on. Make it practical. The office coughs its chorus, and the mind wants to join the choir. Stop. Say, not as magic words, but as stance. Right now, I nullify any seeming effect from a universal belief. Then be still. Don't fight a microbe. Don't love a vitamin. Don't hate the season. Neither fear, love, nor hate any appearance. Consent to one life as the only activity, and let the body be a witness to law, not to rumor. You receive a bank alert and the headlines scream recession, layoffs, rates. All right? Before you shuffle funds in panic, sit, say within. Right now, I nullify any seeming effect from a universal belief in economic fate masquerading as my account. Then silence. You're not trying to bend the market. You're refusing hypnosis. When the mind loosens its grip on the mask, wise action may come, or no action at all, and you'll find supply organizing by principle, not by push. Lift the blame. Stop prosecuting yourself and stop canonizing or condemning others. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. So if you think your neighbor's cough or your supervisor's memo or your own weak will is the enemy, you are shadow boxing. This is a collective trance, and your task is to wake, not to win. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, not because you sharpened a better blade, but because in one presence there is no opposite power to give the weapon a target. As belief is withdrawn, error is found powerless. The shame dissolves because there is no culprit to punish. The fear dissolves because there is no law to enforce the threat. And the person, the dear one before you or the dear one you call me, is freed to be what they have always been, the witness to I that I am. Stand there, nullify, consent, and be still. Let the billboard flutter down of itself and see the sky that was never gone. Now we walk the middle path, and it is simpler than the mind will allow because it leaves you with nothing to do and everything to be. Neither fear, love, nor hate any appearance. That is the rail you hold. You will not rush to mend the picture. You will not burn it. You will not kiss it. You will stand so quietly in one that the billboards of the world lose ink. Let us make it a method you can carry into an elevator, into a clinic, into a kitchen, without show, without strain. First, notice. Name what arrives only as an appearance, not a fact with authority, an appearance. The text pings, the symptom pricks, the market dips, say within. This is an appearance, not a law. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Withdraw the instant reflex to approve or condemn. Labeling it an appearance is not denial, it is accuracy. You are turning from the photograph to the light that reveals it, you see? Second, loosen. Refuse urgency. Don't try to improve the picture. Don't try to destroy it. Let it be while you become still. Resist not evil, because resistance is more ink on the same page. Put up thy sword into the sheath. Let the body breathe. Let the jaw soften. Let the clock lose its threat. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. The moment you no longer hurry the scene, you have already deprived it of your belief. That is loosening. Third, yield. Consent to one presence here. All right, Father, thy will. I will not add myself to the scene. Not my opinion, not my cleverness, not my fear. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. This is not using God to fix something. God is not power deployed against the second power. This is I am recognized as the only presence present. I can of mine own self do nothing. Your part is consent, clean, sweet, unarguing consent. Fourth, receive. Do not manufacture silence. Let a split second of inner quiet come of itself. Watch for the soft unclenching, the click, sometimes the shoulders drop, sometimes a warmth behind the heart, sometimes only a hush without edges. Be still and know that I am God. If a word floats up, let it be simple. I in the midst of me is mighty. Then nothing. A breath or two of holy nothing. Now the measure, the win, is the non-reaction, not the outcome. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Don't look at your demonstration day by day. Outcomes rearrange after the click. That is not your business. An email cools without your reply. A fever breaks without your battle, or nothing on the surface shifts, and yet fear cannot find you. Non-reaction and consent open the way for presence to be evident, and presence without force reorganizes all that concerns you. Now we must go further into the quiet, because there are hours when fear shouts in the mind, eager to help, reaches for a bundle of truths to throw at the picture. Don't fast. This kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. Fast from fixing. Fast from the habit of loading the air with statements. Even good truth, when flung as a weapon, is still reaction. Set it aside. You are not denying truth. You are refusing to use it as power. You see? What then is prayer? Not saying beautiful things to impress heaven. Not pleading. Not persuading. Not arranging the universe with syllables. When thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, shut the traffic of thought. Pray to thy Father which is in secret. Prayer is rest until contact. 1 second of God is more than hours of thought. Use not vain repetitions, the Master said. Nobody by taking thought can contact God. Contact comes when thought yields. Here is the mechanics. Simple and clean. Sit. Feet quiet on the floor. Hands easy. Jaw soft. Let the breath fall of itself, not managed, not spiritualized, just human breath becoming quiet. Whisper if a whisper must come, Father, thou art, or simply, I. Then let even that fade. Let every true idea that ever helped you pass by, like friends at the door whom you love, but do not invite in. Wait for nothing, want nothing. Be still, and know that I am God. Sometimes a warmth moves through, sometimes the shoulders drop, sometimes no sensation at all, only a bare awareness without edge. That is enough. Elijah did not find him in the wind, nor in the fire, but in a still, small voice. The voice is not sound, it is presence. This is fasting. You fast from argument, from affirmations used as clubs, from timelines, from outcomes. You fast from being the mechanic of your fate. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. And that word is not the one you pronounce. It is the one that arises of itself in the hush. If a phrase comes after the click, hold it lightly, I in the midst of thee am mighty, and then let it dissolve again into silence. After contact, do not rush to prove it. Sit a breath longer, then rise. Action, if there is action, will be natural, unforced, without the heat of defense. A call is made with no tremor. A sentence is written without edge, or no action at all occurs, and yet harmony appears because fear has lost its stage. Be careful for nothing, and the peace of God shall keep your hearts and minds. That peace moves before you like a quiet wind, organizing what concerns you without your push. So when fear is loud, do not add your volume. Fast, pray by resting. Let contact, not concepts, do the work. Enter your closet, often 5 minutes, 3, 1, a breath, and shut the door. Silence is the door, and through that door, one presence lives, its life as your very life, and the lie of two powers has no voice left with which to speak. All right, now we give the mouth a holy task, not to persuade God, not to coerce a universe, but to loosen the reflex to fight and to open the door to silence. Sit upright. Let one hand rest lightly on the heart. Let the breath be gentle and unforced, jaw easy, shoulders soft. Speak slowly and truthfully, never theatrically. You are not performing, you are consenting. Let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. These words are not levers, they are permission slips. Say them as you would greet a dear friend at the door, quietly, sincerely, without hurry. You see, begin. Two powers is the lie. Let it be said once, and then again, softer, as if you are overhearing yourself. Two powers is the lie. And once more, as the breath settles, two powers is the lie. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. You are not arguing with an appearance. You are withdrawing its borrowed credentials. Say the line as simple fact as sunrise and watch the body hear it. Don't rush. Don't decorate. Let the sentence find its own weight in you. Now, I refuse to fear, love, or hate appearances. Let each word take a step. I refuse to fear, love, or hate appearances. We are on the middle path. Resist not evil. Let that refusal be kind, not hard, firm, not sharp. Again, I refuse to fear, love, or hate appearances. Feel how the heart settles when it is no longer conscripted into sides. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. You are declining the bait. You are reclaiming your first breath for God. Next, I do not enter the case humanly. Say it and put up the sword. I do not enter the case humanly. You will not argue for labor or management, for symptom or remedy, for you or them. The battle is the Lord's. If the one that engaged you wants to win, that is his business. Your business is principle. Again, slower. I do not enter the case humanly. Notice how strategy loosens its grip when this sentence stands at the door. Now the holy crescendo without strain. There is only one presence, one life, one power here now as all. Let it fill the room without you pushing it. There is only one presence, one life, one power here now as all. And plainness seal upon it, I consent to one. Once more as a bow, I consent to one. I am that I am, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Not many wills, one will already present, already whole. Close with the Master's word and let it finish you. Be not afraid. It is I. Do not use it. Receive it. Be not afraid. It is I. And once almost whispered, be not afraid. It is I. Now let the mouth close of itself. Feel the residual stillness gather behind the heart like a quiet tide. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Don't reach, don't measure. Let the words sink back into the sea they came from and rest in the hush they have made ready. All right, now we let the tongue retire and let God have his own way in the silence. We have spoken enough to loosen the habit of fighting. Now we rest, because in silence, one presence becomes experiential instead of theoretical. Nobody, by taking thought, can contact God. So we will not think God, we will not use God, we will simply yield and let I am reveal itself. Be still and know that I am God. Close the eyes. Let the hands be easy, the jaw soft, the breath unmanaged. For the next 90 seconds, no words, not even good ones. When a thought comes about the room, the body, the past, see it like a bird crossing a wide sky and let it keep flying. Do not follow. Do not swat. Enter into thy closet and shut the door. If the mind offers help, smile in silence and watch it pass on its way. If fear spikes, and sometimes it will, like a match flaring in dry grass, whisper once within, only one, not as a weapon, but as a hand on a child's shoulder, only one. Then back to quiet. Resist not evil. Let the wave pass without borrowing its movement. Notice, if it happens, the soft click, the interior loosening, the belly untying a knot, the shoulders lowering a fraction, the breath remembering it is given. Do not chase it. Do not look for it tomorrow. Let it come or not. Elijah found the holy not in the wind, nor in the fire, but in a still small voice. Sometimes the voice is not a voice at all. It is the absence of strain, the sense that nobody needs to move anything. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth. Receive if it is there. Sit without complaint if it is not. Now, as we come out, consent once more. Without sound, give a quiet inward bow, and say within, thy will is already being, not will be, already being. Leave it there. Then let the eyelids lift slowly, as if you were returning from a temple you did not build. Keep the body unhurried, no rush to prove, no measuring of results. Take no thought even about the silence. Carry one breath of that quiet into the next action, one breath as you stand, as you write, as you wash the dish. Do not plan outcomes from it. Do not spend it as capital. Let it be presence being itself while you attend to the ordinary. If action is needed, it will not be laced with fear. If none is needed, you will know, and it will be enough. Let maturity bring to light. Be not afraid. It is I. Now we bring it to desks and kitchens and hospital corridors. All right, work first. Management calls, labor calls, both want a champion. Don't take the brief. Don't take a side. Never enter the case humanly. Sit in the room and be the one who will not fear, love, or hate an appearance. Hear their talking? Yes, but listen behind it for the hush. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Your first act is non-reaction. Your second is consent. Father, thou art. Then silence until the click. The click loosens the chokehold of two powers. You see, I have been in such rooms, long tables, folded arms, stale coffee. Tempers had cases, and the cases had exhibits. I said little. I would not be hired by either side. Put up thy sword into the sheath. After the click, a sentence rose, and I spoke it without heat. What if overtime is rotated by skill tier, and a training fund seeded from the overtime reserve lifts the lower tier within 6 months? There was a pause no lawyer could have negotiated. Someone laughed softly. By afternoon, the whiteboard held a plan no one had dared propose: overtime shared, quality stabilized, a modest dividend preserved, new fathers home for supper. No winner's ribbons, only relief. The solution wasn't argued into being. Presence wrote the terms. The battle is the Lord's. Marriage now, and this will test your tenderness. Do not be a counselor of personalities. Be a witness to principle. Sit with them, not for one against the other. Sometimes the thaw comes like April eyes wet, old hardness cracking, the kitchen bright by evening. Sometimes harmony requires separation, and if it does, let it be. A clean parting can be spiritual good revealed. I have a letter. We signed without bitterness, tuition provided, custody gentle, and a year on, we are kinder co-parents than we ever were spouses. Another wrote later, we lived apart, then re-met, and without theater remarried. The second marriage is free of the first fight. Both letters carry the same stamp, no sides, only principle. What therefore God hath joined together, we do not wrench by human will. We let one presence reveal. whether together means one house or two, and good is shown either way. The body next. A diagnosis shouts, don't argue with it. Don't make a counter deity of remedies. Be still. Be not afraid. It is I. Say quietly, right now I nullify any seeming effect from a universal belief wearing this name. Then wait for the click. Many times the picture alters after contact. A treatment proceeds without dread and recovers without complication. A fever breaks by morning, or nothing visible shifts, and yet terror cannot find you. A nurse wrote of a night shift, alarms, panic rising. Only one, she whispered within, and the room settled. Numbers steadied. Unnecessary interventions were not made. We cherish such letters, but we do not chase them. Remember, outcomes are byproducts. Our sole interest is the emergence of spiritual activity. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Don't look at your demonstration day by day. Applied non-reaction opens ways argument and force cannot. Stand still, bear witness, consent, and let maturity bring to light. Now we come to the patience that protects the seed, and you must hear this as a guardrail over your practice. Don't look at your demonstration day by day. Fruit does not sweeten because you stare at it. It ripens where you cannot see inside the skin, behind the leaf, under the hush of night. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and he does not tug the stem to hasten sweetness. You see, if you measure every dawn for sugar, you bruise the branch. Stand still. Let maturity bring to light. Saul of Tarsus is our warning and our comfort. The light struck him, but he did not start a ministry the next morning. Years hidden, years unwound in him before he went out. He conferred not with flesh and blood, but was drawn aside until the inward Christ could be the only speaker. Do you think the world would have suffered if he waited? No, the world was spared the noise of a half-born message. There must be a season when the scaffolding of the old falls and the new house stands quiet before the paint. Inner reorganization precedes public clarity. Detach from metrics, views, likes, swift fixes, quarterly charts. Let them be whatever they are. If the one that engaged you wants to lose, that is his business. Your business is fidelity to principle. Refuse the scoreboard. Refuse the stopwatch. Refuse the itch to prove. Let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing. Perfect work is God's, patience is ours. So build the day like this. Keep the morning silence, 5 minutes or 50, as you are led, until the click, not a word more. Keep the midday pause, a breath in the hallway, one step back from the keyboard, only one, and then hush. Keep the evening release, lay the day upon the altar, bless both what flowered and what seemed to fail, and let it go. Quietly faithful, no announcement, no tally. In due season, we shall reap if we faint not. The dew is his, not yours. The season is his, not the calendar's. Trust the governance that precedes you. Let God have its perfect work. Timing and form are not our department. Our work is contact and consent, contact in silence, consent without strategy, and then the leaf, the blade, the full corn in the ear appear as they must. A day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So be content to move at God's speed. The seed knows its hour, the river knows its bend, presence knows its form. Be not afraid, it is I. Stand still, stay faithful, and let maturity bring to light. Make it a rule, simple and steady, and keep it whether the day is bright or loud. Begin in silence, end in silence. Enter the closet, shut the door, Wait for the click, no more, no less. Evening, lay the day upon the altar. Bless what seemed to flower and what seemed to fail, and let it go. Between 3 breath pauses, 1 before you answer, 1 before you send, 1 before you judge. A single inward bow, only one, and hush. In conflict, take no side. Hear all, help none humanly. Stand with principle and remain at rest. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto thee, and will look up. Pray without ceasing, not with many words, but with many yieldings. Practice language hygiene. Retire combat words, fight, beat, win, prove, fix. Adopt witness words, behold, consent, rest, witness, let. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Talk as one who trusts principle to reveal itself. You do not fight darkness. You let light be. You do not beat sickness. You witness life. You do not win arguments. You behold answers appearing where no one is defending a side. This trains the nerves to non-reaction, and the tongue becomes the servant of silence. Set a boundary and keep it holy. Never enter the case humanly. If pressed for instant fixes, step back, fast from statements. Close the lips, soften the belly, wait for the click. This kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. A minute of yielded presence dissolves more fear than an hour of clever counsel. If you catch yourself arranging outcomes, stop at once, withdraw the hand, and say within, not by might, nor by power, but by thy spirit. Then wait again. The pause is obedience. The click is authorization. In community, walk kindly, correct no one, demonstrate quietly. By their fruits ye shall know them. Let your light so shine that men see good works and glorify the Father, not your method. Answer questions, yes, but refuse debates. A soft answer turns away wrath. A quiet non-reaction disarms the meeting before the chair gavels. Do not make a show of your silences. Do not advertise your middle path. Where envy or zeal tries to pull you into sides, smile inwardly and bless all without opinion. As much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Your peace will teach more surely than your speech. Finally, carry one line as living awareness, not as charm. Be not afraid. It is I. Let it breathe you while you work, drive, answer, sleep. Outcome free, agenda free, you stand still and consent. One presence lives. Its life and the lie of 2 powers falls.